Welcome back. We are once again talking about anxiety and where we can decrease our anxiety in our life and build resilience so that we can move forward and be really who we want to be and hopefully do the things that we want to do in life. And so where can we again do this? Well, we can build self-trust and safety within ourselves, and we can do this by becoming our own anchor. And that just means that we're the calm in the storm. We're not expecting other people to be our calm. We're not expecting external things to be our calm. We're expecting us to build our own emotional safety, our own resilience, and then from there we can go out and feel that we can handle the situations we need to that come up on an everyday basis. And so has anxiety ever made you perhaps second guess everything, your decisions, your emotions, even your sense of reality at times? And of course, you're not alone in this. Plenty of people also feel the same way. And we're going to explore how to build self-trust and emotional safety, even when the world or maybe your mind feels uncertain at times. And we'll dive into how to explore self-trust, create safety in your own nervous system, respond instead of react, trust your emotions, and become your own steady anchor in the storm. Because that's really, in the end, what we want, right? We want to become the most healthiest version of ourselves in our own anchor. So we're not relying on somebody else. So we don't have to be attached to people that are even perhaps unhealthy for us, or attached to anybody really. We can have those secure attachments if we seek them out. And so what's one way we can do this? Well, we can explore self-trust. So anxiety often stems from feeling unsafe inside of ourselves, right? We doubt our decisions, we second guess what we feel, and we search for certainty in things that we just can't control. And the reality is we can't control a lot of things. We can control the way we react, the way we respond, and our inner calmness ourselves. But self-trust isn't about always knowing that you have the right answer. It's about believing that no matter what happens, you will stay with yourself in the end. So what are some questions that we can have to start exploring self-trust within ourselves? Well, when did I first start doubting myself? How far back does this go in the end? What messages did I internalize about making mistakes or needing certainty? And where have I proven to myself that I can handle things? We really need to focus sometimes on those small wins so that when we're in another situation where we feel it's really hard, we know that we can actually do what we want to do in the future or in the present moment. And so trust doesn't mean that you won't fall. It means you won't abandon yourself when you do. So try journaling. What would it look like to trust myself more this week? And you can use certain instances of how that would look. Pull from past instances and use those. Or if you have some big event or something that you have to go to during the week, then you can also journal about that and how you can start building trust within yourself. So another way that we can do this is we can build emotional safety and we can respond versus reacting. So what is emotional safety? Well, anxiety is a response to perceived danger, real or imagined. And to calm anxiety, we need to feel safe in our body, in our thoughts, and in our emotions. And so we can build emotional safety by speaking gently to ourselves in moments of distress, validating that you feel instead of minimizing what you're feeling, and giving yourself permission to pause before reacting. That's a really important one, to pause, because that's where we will find the strength and the safety to respond the way we want to in the end. So reacting is automatic, often based on fear or past wounds. And this can be like real, maybe even physical fear, but really a lot of times it's perceived, maybe fear of somebody not adhering to the boundaries that you do have in place or you want in place that you haven't quite yet communicated. And responding is intentional. It comes from after when you are able to breathe, pause, and check in with yourself. So try practicing this. Next time you feel triggered, pause and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What did I need right now? And can I give myself 30 seconds before I speak or act? So this gap, the space between reaction and response, is where your power lies. This is where we really do a check-in. And a lot of times it might be better to practice this when you're not in the moment of anxiety, or you're not in the moment where you have to relay again what boundary you have, or tell somebody what boundary you have if they don't know your boundaries. And again, the boundaries need to be healthy, of course. You can't just throw boundaries around just to have boundaries and think that they are healthy. And we want to make sure that we're really exploring that part of our lives as well. And so what's another area, again, that we can become our own anchor? Well, we can trust our emotions, and we can literally become our own anchor. And so let's talk about trusting our emotions. Anxiety often tells us that our feelings are too much, too dramatic, or not valid at all. But your emotions are not the enemy. They're just messengers. And that's important to understand, that our emotions are perfectly safe to have, and it's okay to have them. But it's not okay to react inappropriately to the situation, or react with our emotions and overreact in the end. And so fear, sadness, anger, even joy, they all carry information for us. When you ignore or shame them, our anxiety can grow. And when you welcome them, even gently, you build emotional resilience. It's okay to feel emotions. Again, it's just not okay to react in certain ways. So try telling yourself this emotion is safe to feel. I don't have to act on this feeling. I just need to listen to it. Even strong emotions are temporary. And remember, the pause can be longer than 30 seconds. You may actually need to pause, especially if you have some really strong emotions, for an hour, 30 minutes, maybe even a day. But coming back to it is really something that you need to do, so we just don't ignore our issues in life. So oftentimes you become your own anchor. You no longer need every external situation to be calm. You've created calm within, and you don't need someone else to regulate you. You know how to hold space for yourself. It's really important. We cannot expect other people to love us the way we're going to love ourselves, or to hold the space for us the way we need space to be held, or to be our own anchor. We need to be our own anchor, and we need to learn how to be a healthy version of ourselves, so we can go out in this world and be who we're supposed to be, who we're meant to be. So here's a daily grounding reminder. Put your hand on your chest, close your eyes, and say, I am safe, I can feel this, and I trust myself to move through it. So to recap what we just went through, build self-trust by noticing where you've already shown up for yourself. Create emotional safety by responding with curiosity, not urgency. And learn to trust your emotions as allies, not enemies. In a world that constantly pulls your attention outward, this work actually brings us home to ourselves. It's to your breath, your truth, your grounded self. And you are not too much. You are not behind. You are becoming deeper, steadier, and stronger every time you stay with yourself. So here we are. We're at the comment section again. This is the best part, because this is the part where everybody learns from everybody else, and that's really important. So are you already your own anchor? Can you steady yourself in a storm, or are you still working on that? Are your reactions too much at the moment? So does that mean you're just at the beginning of this journey, and you're still trying to learn and navigate how to regulate your emotions, regulate your anxiety, or any other strong emotion that you have? And are you still trying to discover where all this comes from? Drop a comment below. Love to get the conversation started. And here is the journal that I created. This one's on self-discovery, love, and discipline, and it all starts with you. There is going to be an anxiety one coming here hopefully shortly as well, But for this one, self-love reminds us that we are worthy, not someday, but now. Self-discovery invites us to listen to our own voice, to reconnect with who we really are beneath all the noise out there. And self-discipline, that's the quiet commitment to keep showing up for ourselves, even when life gets hard. And this journal is really your space. It's not about perfection, it's just about presence. It's about tuning in, being honest, and holding space for your healing and your growth and your truth. So take a breath, grab a pen, and let's begin this journey together.